open up the phone lines for you to call. We've got 6 books to give away, Stand Fast and Hold Fast, copies of both these books, 6 to give away for the first several people on the phone lines with us this afternoon. Do you have a question about how to start, where to start with your son? 1-800-571-2755, 800-571-2755. We're coming right back with Doug Bond on Along the Way.
What do you think? Let us know. Call now, 1-800-571-2755.
A father is someone who will sacrifice everything to give his child a better life than he had.
Gotta keep your eye on the ball, swing straight and true and follow through. Don't be afraid, whatever the call, because we're never alone. Our coach is there to cheer us on, but it's the wind up.
Welcome back. This is Along the Way on the Faith Radio Network. We're talking about raising sons. We're talking with Douglas Bond. He's written a book series. It's Fathers and Sons Stand Fast in the Way of Truth and Fathers and Sons Hold Fast in a Broken World. Really talking about some amazing things, from alerting young men to the dangers that face them, teaching them how to be leaders, how to stay away from sin. It talks about the things in the culture that are going on right now that are sort of, just chipping away at manhood, really. I mean, that's the bottom line, chipping away at manhood and stripping men of their identity as men. I think this is fascinating, Doug. I'm so glad you're here to answer questions. We already have people calling with questions for you. 1-800-571-2755. As you know, you can always email us as well if you're at work and you can't get on the phone. Go ahead and send us an email. We'll read it and we'll get an answer for you. That is mail@alongthewayradio.com. Suzette, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hi.
Hi.
Tell us about your son.
I have a son. He's 12 years old, and academically he's a pretty smart kid, but he just doesn't care. He just doesn't care to get his work done. He doesn't care to get his work turned in. Projects, due dates come and go, and he just makes choices socially that are just not okay, and he knows right from wrong, and he always tells me, well, I wasn't thinking. And I get frustrated with that because I know he knows right from wrong, and then when we try to give him consequences for it, he just doesn't care.
And is your husband in the home and involved in all that?
Oh, yeah.
So, Doug, what do we do about, we work so hard to figure out the right consequence, and what is this kid's lever, what will he respond to? Maybe it's taking away a privilege or letting him earn a privilege. There are 100 systems out there to try to get kids to do what we want them to do. But where do we fall when we've got this preteen who it doesn't feel like he cares about the consequences?
Sure. Well, let me just back up for just a moment. I wouldn't want anybody to call in and think I'm the expert and I can give them all the answers. I wrote the books because I felt like I needed answers. I have 6 children, 4 of them are sons, and began writing the books 5-6 years ago as those sons were moving into as my oldest son was moving into his teen years. And I realized that fundamentally I had to spend more time with my sons. I'm busy. I've got responsibilities in my church and in my job, of course, and writing deadlines and things like that, and of course my wife and my daughters. And I realized I needed something that would help my time with my son to be more intentional. And but the bottom line is a son who's unmotivated, a son who's disinterested, bored with what's going on, in my judgment, needs a father to come alongside him, or an adult mentor, a male mentor, to come alongside him and say, what are you interested in? What do you like? And then listen and get to know that young man. It's a disturbing statistic, but they tell us that where fathers are in homes in America, the average father spends 5 minutes a day talking with his children. and that includes, logistics about what happens after school and so forth. Not intentional, thoughtful, focused time of listening and conversing, and so often that 5 minutes is dealing with discipline issues too. And so the dad's time with the son is, all right, you did it again, you're in deep weeds, and here's the consequence. And we dads have got to say, there is no, we live in a rat race, hustle world, and we've got to say, well, we're just not going to fall prey to that. We are going to take intentional time with our sons. And I have 4 sons, and they're all different personalities. One of them, I can't get him to stop talking. It's wonderful. He brings what he's been reading in the scriptures to me, and he asks me questions and all. And I've got another son who has thoughtful things going on, but he's very quiet, and I need to come alongside him and ask God to give me wisdom to know how to approach him, how to listen to him, and how to bring out of him what's going on, what he's thinking about, and what he's desiring, and then help shape that. And frankly, that's the way I tried to structure the books, is to help dads, particularly with sons who, aren't forthcoming in conversation, and who seem to kind of put up the wall, put the stiff arm out to their father and to their mother, and have it be a time. The books aren't written just for dads to read on their own and say, okay, now I'm all stoked up here, I can go and be a good dad. They're designed for dads and sons to sit down together and really go to the scriptures and what it teaches us about our roles as men.
Yeah, and that's what I think I love about these the best, is because they are sort of a devotional for dads and sons. And you dive through these various issues together, and I think that's so important. It's not just dad soaks up all the information then kind of plops it on his kid's head. It's let's find these answers together. Suzette, we are going to send you a copy of one of the books, and this is for you too. It doesn't just have to be for dad reading it. You guys can read it together. But I love the idea, Doug, of engaging our kids more and being intentional about sitting down, having let's sit down and have a glass of milk and a couple of cookies. What's up? What's happening, and talking about some very specific issues. Thank you for that. Suzette, thanks for your great question. Appreciate it.
Thanks for your call.
Janet, welcome to the show. Hi, Janet.
Oh, hi. Hi, I don't have a question, but I just have a comment. I know in the beginning of your show you had mentioned about Valentine's Day and what was done special. And then when you started talking about daughters, and all of a sudden now you're talking about sons. I have 2 daughters and I have a son. And my husband decided that he was going to take me to the show for Valentine's Day, which our church put on, Fireproof. And Christian, very wonderful show. And I knew that he was taking me there, but my children didn't know that. And they had came home from this weekend, some of them did, and we were talking about that. And my husband said he was going to romance me and take me to the movie. And when we got back, my children questioned that, and he, how the movie was, and he had this, he sat down with my son and said, marriage is always something that you have to work on. It's not just given to you. It's just something, it's a privilege that you have that God gave us, and that it doesn't always come easy. And romancing and dating your wife, we've been almost married 40 years, and it's really cool to know that my husband cares enough for me and his family that he still wants to take me out on a date, and he lets his children see that he still loves me, and he still wants to know that, letting his family know that he's dating me, taking me out, and still loves me, and he still can share the stories with his family.
Janet, that's beautiful. I'm so you're so blessed, really. And Doug, isn't that how it goes? Sometimes I feel like maybe we experience a lot of do as I say, not as I do.
Sure.
But to have men that are teaching by example and really exhibiting the kind of behavior we want in our young man, I mean, isn't that the best way to teach?
Absolutely. This woman's son is seeing the best kind of teacher, someone who loves his wife and cares for her and is helpful.